Most people think rebuilding muscle is all about lifting heavy, hitting protein goals, or supplementing with powders that promise peak performance. And while those things matter, what if I told you that there's one food, ancient, overlooked, and scientifically validated, that rebuilds muscle tissue more efficiently than almost anything else we've studied? Here's the surprising insight in multiple clinical trials. Collagen, specifically when paired with vitamin C, has been shown to enhance muscle repair, tendon strength, and connective tissue resilience faster than standard protein sources alone. And that's not just about aesthetics or performance. It's about preserving physical independence, reducing injury risk, and aging with strength. Now, why does this matter? Because after age 30, we start to lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade, a process called sarcopenia. By the time we hit our 60s and beyond, that decline accelerates. This isn't just about strength in the gym. It's about how you get out of a chair, carry your groceries, or avoid a fall that could change your life. But muscle loss isn't inevitable. And the key to reversing it doesn't lie in a pharmaceutical or expensive intervention. It begins with understanding how muscle is actually rebuilt at the cellular level, and how one powerful food can amplify that process by triggering a cascade of anabolic signals in your body. We'll break down what's happening in your body when you consume this food, how it influences satellite cells and the extracellular matrix, and why timing your intake around specific types of movement, even light movement, is critical. In this episode, you'll learn the science of muscle remodeling and why certain proteins work better than others. How collagen, glycine, and proline fuel tissue regeneration at the microscopic level. Why combining this food with movement creates a window of growth for faster recovery. The ideal timing and dosage based on the latest clinical studies. How this protocol compares to traditional muscle building diets, and when to use it. And simple daily rituals you can adopt to rebuild strength at any age. This isn't just about building muscle. It's about building resilience, physically, mentally, and neurologically. Because what strengthens your body also strengthens your mind. When we think of muscle, we picture fibers contracting, lifting weights, moving limbs, building strength. But here's what most people overlook: muscle fibers don't exist in isolation. They're embedded in a dense network of connective tissue, what scientists call the extracellular matrix, or ECM. Think of it like scaffolding around a building. You can replace the walls, but if the frame is unstable, the structure crumbles. This matrix is rich in collagen, and it's essential for force transmission, structural integrity, and repair. When you exercise, whether it's lifting, walking, or yoga, you're not just stressing muscle fibers. You're creating micro damage in the entire contractile system, including the ECM. And if that matrix doesn't recover, you're left with weak links, slower recovery, higher injury risk, and less muscle growth overall. One of the most striking findings comes from Dr. Keith Barr's lab at UC Davis. His research has shown that connective tissues like tendons and fascia respond slowly to training, unless you feed them the raw materials they need. In other words, you could be doing all the right movements, but missing the nutritional input that signals the body to rebuild the scaffolding. Here's the takeaway: you can't fully rebuild muscle unless you also rebuild what holds it together. That's the ECM. And collagen, not whey, not casein, is the primary nutrient the body uses to reconstruct that matrix. Now, if you've ever had lingering soreness in joints or tendons, or struggled to make progress despite consistent effort, it might not be a motivation problem. It could be a material problem. Your body simply doesn't have the building blocks it needs repair at the structural level, A simple tool to apply is this: think beyond muscle. Train and nourish your connective tissue. That starts with collagen, and we'll talk in the next section about how to actually absorb and use it. But here's a question to reflect on. Have you ever noticed how joint pain often lingers even after muscle soreness fades? That's the matrix talking. And it's telling you something critical. Repair isn't done. Let's dive into what makes collagen and vitamin C such a powerful duo for rebuilding muscle and connective tissue, and how the science backs this up with real measurable outcomes. Collagen by itself is rich in key amino acids like glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, all essential for repairing the extracellular matrix. But here's what's fascinating: your body can't effectively use collagen to build tissue without one specific cofactor, Vitamin C. Vitamin C acts as a rate-limiting coenzyme in the process of collagen synthesis. It helps enzymes like prolyl hydroxylase and lysyl hydroxylase stabilize and cross-link collagen fibers, essentially transforming a loose structure into a strong, supportive scaffold. Without it, collagen can't form the triple helix structure required for tissue strength. This is why ancient sailors who lacked vitamin C developed scurvy. Their connective tissue literally broke down. Keith Barr's team ran a human trial that revealed a striking result. When subjects consumed 15 grams of gelatin form of hydrolyzed collagen with 50 Maillard-Z of vitamin C an hour before jumping rope, a simple tendon loading movement, their collagen synthesis doubled compared to baseline. Why does that matter? Because this isn't just about joints or tendons. It also applies to muscle fascia, ligaments, and the interface where muscle fibers anchor into the matrix, all of which are essential for durable strength and efficient movement. Here's a simple protocol from the research. Take 15 to 20 grams of hydrolyzed collagen or gelatin with at least 50 to 100 ml of vitamin C about 30 to 60 minutes before movement. That movement doesn't need to be intense. Even walking, light resistance bands, or jumping rope activates tissue remodeling pathways. This timing works because the amino acids peak in your bloodstream just as blood flow increases to working tissues. It's like showing up with bricks and a construction crew at exactly the right moment. And if you're wondering, isn't whey protein enough? Not quite. Whey is high in leucine, which triggers muscle protein synthesis, MPS, via the MTR pathway. That's great for hypertrophy, muscle size. But collagen doesn't target MTOR. It supports structural rebuilding tendons, ligaments, and fascia. You need both systems to work in harmony. So if you're lifting, rehabbing, or just staying mobile with age, this simple pre-workout ritual, collagen for vitamin C, gives your body what it's actually missing. If this insight is helping you rethink how muscle recovery really works, consider subscribing. We go deep into the science, and more importantly, we turn that science into tools that work in real life. Let's talk about glycine and proline, two amino acids that don't get much attention in the world of fitness or recovery, yet they're absolutely critical for rebuilding muscle and connective tissue from the inside out. Here's the problem. Most people, even those eating high protein diets, are deficient in glycine and proline relative to what the body needs for full tissue repair. Why? Because modern diets prioritize muscle meats like chicken breast, steak, or whey protein, which are rich in methionine and leucine, but low in glycine and proline. Yet, if you look at how our ancestors ate, they consumed the entire animal, including skin, cartilage, tendons, and connective tissue, all rich in collagen and its unique amino profile. These parts contain what modern nutrition often misses: the amino acids that support the architecture of your body, not just its power output. What's happening in your body when you lack glycine and proline is simple, but serious. Your tendons become more fragile, joints recover slower, and muscle anchoring weakens. You're trying to build on a foundation that's quietly deteriorating. Glycine, in particular, plays a powerful role beyond just structure. It's involved in inflammatory regulation, neurotransmitter function, and even sleep quality. One study in neuropsychopharmacology found that glycine supplementation before bed improved sleep onset and subjective sleep quality, which, as we know, is essential for muscle recovery. Proline, on the other hand, is essential for wound healing, cartilage repair, and skin elasticity. Together, they form the biological glue that holds tissues together. So here's a protocol to consider. Supplement 10 to 20 grams of hydrolyzed collagen daily, which contains around 3 to 4 grams of glycine and 1 gram of proline. If you're not using collagen, consider adding bone broth or gelatin into your diet. These foods mimic the ancestral nutrient profile your body expects. Combine with a moderate methionine intake to balance amino acid ratios. Too much methionine without glycine has been shown to increase homocysteine and oxidative stress, two things you definitely want to avoid. This isn't just about building muscle. It's about building muscle that lasts, that's supported by healthy joints, flexible tendons, and a stable foundation. Have you ever felt strong in the gym but sore in your tendons, stiff in your movements, or prone to small injuries? That's often not a training issue. It's a missing nutrient issue. And these amino acids are the ones most often missing. Timing matters. And when it comes to using collagen and movement to rebuild tissue, there's a powerful 60-minute biological window that can make the difference between minor gains and deep structural repair. Here's what the research shows After you ingest collagen, ideally 15 to 20 grams, the amino acids peak in your bloodstream about 30 to 60 minutes later. At that exact time, if you perform light to moderate mechanical loading, like resistance training, jumping rope, or even stretching under tension, you stimulate fibroblasts, the cells responsible for rebuilding connective tissue. Dr. Barr's work has shown that fibroblasts respond best when collagen is present in the bloodstream during mechanical stress. Think of it like this movement sends the workers to the job site, but collagen provides the bricks and mortar. Without both, the repair doesn't happen efficiently. This process isn't just theoretical. In studies, subjects who consume gelatin with vitamin C 1 hour before tendon loading exercise showed twice the collagen synthesis compared to those who didn't, even when the exercise and calorie intake were the same. And here's where it gets practical. If you're over 40, recovering from injury, or training regularly, you're probably in a state of elevated tissue turnover. Your body is constantly remodeling, but the supply chain, amino acids, cofactors, repair signals might not be optimized. By eating collagen 30 to 60 minutes before movement, you align the biological timing of nutrient availability with the mechanical signal for repair. This pairing creates a growth window where tissue rebuilding is dramatically more effective. You don't need to crush a workout. In fact, the studies used light activity, 6 minutes of jumping rope, body weight loading, or band exercises. The key is consistency and timing, not intensity. A simple tool you can apply: set a daily rebuild window, drink your collagen vitamin C stack, then do 10 to 15 minutes of loaded movement. That's it. It's accessible, efficient, and rooted in real biology. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, training hard, eating well, but not recovering like you used to? It's not just age. It's often mistimed nutrition. And once you align these signals, results accelerate. If this protocol is helping you think differently about muscle and recovery, this channel is for you. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. We'll keep turning science into tools you can trust. When we talk about rebuilding muscle, we often focus on aesthetics or strength, how much weight we can lift, how we look in the mirror. But there's another dimension that rarely gets the attention it deserves: the connection between muscle and your brain. Muscle isn't just a mechanical tissue. It's also a neurological system. Every muscle movement involves communication between your brain, spinal cord, motor neurons, and the muscle fibers they control. This system, called the neuromuscular junction, is what gives you coordination, balance, and control. Here's what most people don't realize: as muscle mass declines with age, so does neural stability. Studies show that people with greater muscle strength and power in later life have better cognitive function, faster reaction times, and lower risk of falls or neurodegeneration. One of the most compelling findings comes from a study published in the Journals of Gerontology. It found that muscle mass in the legs strongly predicted brain volume and cognitive performance later in life. Why? Because active muscles release myokines, signaling molecules like BDNFs, a brain-derived neurotrophic factor, that promote neuroplasticity and protect neurons from inflammation and aging. This means that when you rebuild muscle, you're not just rebuilding your body, you're upgrading your brain. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Neuromuscular decline isn't just caused by disuse. It's accelerated by poor connective tissue health. If the tendons, fascia, and scaffolding that support your muscles are weak, neural signals can't transmit as efficiently. You get slower reflexes, poor balance, and even emotional dysregulation. So when you use collagen to strengthen that structure, you're supporting the pathways that carry neural signals. This makes you not just stronger, but more stable, more coordinated, and more cognitively sharp. A simple tool: include balance-based movements, like single leg stands, slow, controlled eccentrics, or proprioceptive work right after your collagen intake. These enhance neuromuscular communication and increase the recruitment of stabilizer muscles and neurons. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond, this combination is one of the most protective habits you can build for both body and mind. Think of your muscle as an extension of your brain. When you stop training muscle, you're not just losing strength, you're weakening one of the brain's most powerful tools for longevity. So ask yourself, how's your balance lately? Or out of procrastination, your reaction time. These are the signals your body gives when it's asking for support, not just through movement, but through the right kind of nutritional support that rebuilds from the inside out. Let's bring this all together into something you can apply daily, consistently, and with confidence. Because knowing that collagen helps rebuild muscle and connective tissue is one thing. But the real power comes when you turn that knowledge into a protocol that fits your life, whether you're an athlete over 50 or recovering from injury. Here's what the research supports, distilled into a usable framework. The core protocol timing: take 15 to 20 grams of hydrolyzed collagen or gelatin combined with 50 to 100 mg of vitamin C about 30 to 60 minutes before movement. Movement type A doesn't need to be intense. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes of light to moderate movement that loads the tissues, such as walking, resistance bands, jumping rope, eccentric squats, or yoga with holds. Frequencing once daily is effective. You can do more if recovering from injury or engaging in high training volume. What makes this protocol powerful is that it aligns three biological systems: nutrient availability, glycine, proline, vitamin C, mechanical signaling, fibroblast activation from loading, timing coordination, amino acid peaks, cellular repair demand. Think of it like watering a plant right before the sun comes up. The hydration is there just in time for the metabolic activity to begin. Add-ons for performance or recovering combine with magnesium glycinate at night for tissue relaxation and better sleep, both critical for recovery. Use glycine powder in 3, get bedtime as an additional dose to support neurotransmitter balance, deep sleep, and systemic anti-inflammatory effects. Food-based options: not a fan of powders. Consume homemade bone broth with lemon juice 45 minutes before movement. Or cook slow, simmered meat stews using collagen-rich cuts like oxtail, shank, or skin on poultry. Lifestyle integration tips stack this habit with an existing routine. For example, morning collagen drink or light movement or walk. Pre-lunch bone broth resistance bands. Evening collagen stretching, glycine for sleep. Key insight: most people try to build muscle with force, but forget about structure. By targeting the scaffolding, you not only support muscle repair, you increase durability, coordination, and longevity. So the question is, can you commit to 15 minutes a day to future-proof your body? The protocol is simple, and the science is strong, and the compound benefits: joint stability, improved recovery, stronger fascia, sharper brain, are worth far more than the small investment of time and intention. Let's step back and recap what we've uncovered, not just in terms of nutrients or protocols, but in terms of the power you now hold to actively rebuild strength, mobility, and resilience at any stage of life. We began with a surprising insight that collagen, especially when combined with vitamin C, rebuilds muscle, supporting tissue more effectively than most traditional protein sources. But the real story goes deeper. This isn't about a single supplement. It's about reconnecting with a biological strategy your body is already wired for, one that modern diets and routines have largely forgotten. You learned that muscle repair isn't just about fibers. It's about rebuilding the collagen-rich matrix that holds those fibers together. Glycine and proline, the amino acids your body needs most for repair, are missing from modern protein sources, but abundant in collagen. The timing of intake matters just as much as the content. Consuming collagen 30 to 60 minutes before movement opens a precise growth window, optimizing fibroblast activity and tissue synthesis. Muscle's not just strength, it's neurological stability, cognitive protection, and metabolic health. The stronger and more integrated your muscles, the sharper your brain. And finally, you learned a daily science-backed protocol that anyone can use, regardless of age, athletic level, or injury status, to rebuild muscle, tendons, joints, and even mindset. So what's the real takeaway? Your body isn't breaking down. It's just waiting for the right inputs to build back stronger. And you now have one of the most powerful tools to start that process. Here's your challenge egg. Tomorrow morning, don't just skip breakfast or rush into the day. Instead, the protocol: mix 15 to 20 egg of collagen with a squeeze of lemon or a vitamin C tablet. Wait 30 minutes, then go for a walk. Or do a few slow squats, band rows, or gentle yoga. That's it. You'll be doing more for your body in 20 minutes than most do in weeks. And if you found value in this, if this shifted how you think about nutrition, movement, and longevity, I invite you to join this community. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. What was your biggest takeaway? What will you try tomorrow? This channel is about more than hacks. It's about tools that work because they're rooted in truth. Biological, psychological, and human. And together we're building something that lasts. Thank you for being here. stay strong, curious, and keep building the life your biology was meant to support.